So in this lesson, I just want to pretend as if you're my guitar student and this is our first guitar lesson. So I'm going to run you through some of the basics of how to play different notes on guitar, how to read guitar music, otherwise known as tab, and as well as that we'll learn a little guitar riff and how you can progress this to develop some technique on your instrument. So the first thing to take note of with the guitar is the strings. Okay, there are 6 strings on a guitar. Okay, now all of these strings, you'll notice the first one you play will be lower in pitch, and as you go up, they get higher and higher. Okay, so this is the first way we can play different notes on the guitar, is just by playing different strings. Okay, pretty straightforward. Now, all these strings are tuned to certain notes. Okay, just like you have notes on the piano, you have notes on the guitar. And a really good starting point is getting familiar with what these string names are, or what notes they're tuned to. So starting off, we'll start with this thickest string. Now this string is known as the low E. Okay, and the reason why is you can see we have 2 E strings. Now the low one, we are referring to low as in pitch. Okay, a lot of people get confused by this because they think low as in like low to the floor. So they think this string would be the low E as opposed to this one. But we are referring to the pitch. Okay, so low E because it is the lowest in pitch. Okay, now the next string is the A. Then we have D, G, B, and then the high E. Again, the high E, not high as in towards the ceiling or the sky, high as in it's the highest pitched string on the guitar. Cool, so we have the low E and the high E. So that's the basics, okay? So when I refer to the string names, just reference that and you'll know where we are. And if yours doesn't sound exactly the same as mine, it's because you're probably out of tune, but I'll make a video on how to tune your guitar at a later date, but for now, just don't worry about it. And also, I am using an electric guitar, but all of these same things apply to acoustic, okay? So don't freak out if you don't have an electric. Okay, cool. Now the next thing you'll want to learn on the guitar is how to read guitar tab or guitar music. Now these 6 lines here, these represent our guitar strings, and if you can see, we have E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay, hopefully that's showing up on the camera. Okay, those are the same string names, right? As this, E, A, D, G, B, E, E, A, D, G, B, E. So each one of these lines that you'll see on guitar tab represents a string, okay? Starting with the low E to the high E. Now a lot of people are like, oh, why is it upside down? And I don't know, okay, I didn't invent it, but that's just the way it is. This is the way you're going to come across it, so just deal with it, okay? It's alright, you'll get used to it. In saying that, I do have students that have been playing for like 4 years that still mess us up, so just stick with it. Now, the way we read guitar tab is this. So you'll see something along the lines of that. Okay, we have the number 3 here. Now that 3, this is where your frets come into play, which are these lines going down your guitar like this, and they are all numbered. The 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th, 6th, 7th, so on and so forth. Okay, so when we see a number written, that is going to tell us which fret we push down on whatever string or line it is written on. So in this case, we have a 3 on the low E string, so I'm going to put my first finger right behind the 3rd fret on my low E, and then I'm going to pluck it with my thumb, right? So I'm right behind, okay, so look, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, so I go behind it on the low E, push down, and then I'm playing it with my thumb, right? Let's try another note. So on that same low E string, this is a 5, so now we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, push down right behind the fret, and play that note. Cool? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, now we have a 2, however, it is written on a different line. So this means it is going to be played on a different string, okay? We're no longer on the low E string, we're now on the A string, which is going to be the 2nd lowest string. Okay, so we're going to push on the 2nd fret of that A, and now we're going to pluck that A string with our thumb. Okay, so we have to pluck the same string that our finger is pushed down on with our thumb. Cool? Okay, try a couple more. Let's go. So now we're all the way on the high E string, okay? And it's the number 3. So to play that, we're going to go all the way on the high E string, right? 1, 2, 3, push down right behind the fret and play that note. Cool? That would be how you play that note. Sweet. Okay. Next note, this is a 4 on the B string. Okay, so we're going to go on the B, count 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to play that note. Cool, so this would be the 4th fret on the B string. Right, so this is how you read guitar tab. Hopefully this is making sense. Whatever number is written on whatever string, you push down the fret of the number and you play on the string of the line that that number is written on. Okay, now one thing you're also going to come across is this. Okay, is 0. So if you see a 0, that just means you play the open string of whatever line it's written on. Okay, so this, in this case, it would be a 0 or an open string on the low E. Cool, so this is how you read guitar tab. Hopefully this is all clear so far. Now, let's move on to actually playing a piece of music with this guitar tab that we've learned. So, starting off, we're going to have 3 notes. Okay, you're probably familiar with the song, well you will be by the end. We have 3 notes, 0, 3 and 5. Now these notes are played one after another, all on the low E string. So starting off, we're going to play 0 on our low E, then we play the 3rd fret, right, and then we go over to the 5th fret. Alright, 0, 3, 5. Cool? Okay, I'll put that in brackets. Now the next part of the riff is 0, 3, 6, 5. Okay, so now we're going to go again, all on the low E string. 0, 3, then we go over to 6, and then 5. Okay, so far, if I play from the start to the finish, we have 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 6, 5. Okay, now one little chunk that we're going to learn is 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Okay, running a bit out room there. Hopefully you can see that alright. If not, I'll try put a graphic up on the video. So, last little phrase, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. So we have 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Again, all on that low E string. Okay, so to start off, I would practice each one of these segments on their own. So, you know, I'd play this first one 10 times. 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5, right? Just getting used to that. And then I would practice this next little segment, again, 10 or so times. 10 is like an arbitrary number. It's just like whatever it takes that you're somewhat familiar with it and you don't have to concentrate too much on it. So 0, 3, 6, 5, right? Do that a few times. Then last bit, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Cool? Do that like 10 times or whatever. Then, if you combine it all together, once you get used to each individual phrase, we have 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 6, 5, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Alright, sounding familiar? Hopefully it is. If you're like under 30, it probably won't. But actually it will, because it's kind of become a meme at this point, so everyone will know it. Okay, so that's the song. Okay, now we're not just going to stop there. Okay, we're going to apply a few different techniques and skills to the same riff. So once you've got your head around just playing it on that low E string with one finger, right, just like this. What we're going to do is start using more fingers, okay? Because we don't want to just be playing guitar with one finger. Very inefficient, and most importantly, it doesn't look that cool. So whenever we see this 3, we're going to use our first finger. Now, applying the same principle, when we see a 5, we're going to be using our 3rd finger. Now, for the 6, we're going to be using our pinky. Now, using your pinky is going to be very difficult in the beginning to play guitar, but just don't avoid doing it. Like, you have to learn to use your pinky. Yes, it will feel weird and difficult at the beginning, but just do it, okay? It's a really bad look when a guitarist has been playing for like 5 years and just never used their pinky, and you're putting a cap on your potential. So just do it now, get used to it, and then you don't have to worry about it later on. Okay, so if we go through playing this riff with our hand position and using different fingers in mind, this is what it's going to sound like. Well, it's going to sound the same pretty much, but this is what it's going to look like, I guess. So we're going to go 0, right? Obviously don't use a finger for that. Then we're going to push our first finger on the 3, and then we're going to use our third finger to play the 5. Okay, so 0, 3, 5. So again, this is something you would want to practice just on its own for a bit, getting used to 0, 3, 5, but now using the different fingers. Now here's the tricky one, 0, 3, 6, 5. Okay, so we're going to go 0, first finger on the 3, then pinky on the 6, and then third finger on the 5. Okay, now again, practice this on its own a few times. 0, 3, 6, 5. Cool. Then the last one, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. So 0, first finger on the 3, third finger on the 5, first finger on the 3, and then 0. Okay, so that's the next level with learning this, okay? Doing it using the appropriate fingers. Now, if you forget that, just refer back to this video of me explaining it like 30 seconds ago, just to trigger your memory. Anyway, so once you get that, the way we're going to progress this even further, so you've got this, okay, you've got this on the low E string, right, sounding good, sounding cool, right, what we're going to do is play that exact same riff, but on all the other strings, okay, so you want to play the exact same tab, exact same frets, but now on the A string, okay, so now we're going to go 0, 3, 5, but on the A string, 0, 3, 6, 5, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Right, then on the next string, the D string, 0, 3, 5, 0, 3, 6, 5, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0. Right? So to do this, you obviously have to push on different strings, and you also have to play different strings with your thumb. So this is just going to build up, basically the purpose of this is you're building up some dexterity with your fingers, learning to use your different fingers, and getting an idea of what it feels like to play on different strings of the guitar. Okay, so we're just taking the same riff, right, move it up the strings. B string, then the high E string. Right, so this is a really good starting point to practice guitar, get a bit familiar with the different strings, using different fingers. Okay, so if you were doing a practice session, you could do it maybe 10 times on each string. Okay, that's going to be a really good starting point. And you'll be surprised at how fluent it becomes and how natural it starts to feel if you're just consistent with this. But anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope this has made sense and given you an idea of how to read guitar tab and how to play your first riff perhaps on the guitar. But as always, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments or any topics you would like covered, and I'll see you next time.